and welcome to Write Something Weird. I'm Sophie Stern, and I'm here tonight with my wonderful guest, Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing really well, but even better now that we're talking. I'm really excited to chat with you tonight about your books. Can you tell us a little bit about what you write?
So I write I guess dark leaning romantic suspense. So my current book that's out is called The Devil in the Details, and it is an open door spicy read about a girl who falls in love with a guy and ignore red flags because sometimes sex gets in the way.
Okay, okay, I like that. So I was looking at your blog before our call tonight, and you actually have a whole post about how you named your story. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
How I named The Devil in the Details? Did I say that? Oh
Yeah, how you
gosh, it's
named how you named the series. So the Dangerous
Oh, the
Comfort
Dangerous
series?
Comfort
Yeah.
series. So I think it's very important, just to like sometimes as humans we become very like complacent, and then also we get comfortable in things and not realizing that those things can be dangerous for us. And
Mhm.
so what I want to do is explore these different situations that the characters that I will write about, how everything looks comfortable. Everything looks great. And then as you peel back those layers, you'll find out it's not that great. It's not that you shouldn't be that comfortable. And
Mhm.
hopefully that will allow people when they read my story, they'll think about their lives and go, okay, well, maybe in The Devil in the Details, for example, yes, he's a red flag. And yes, he gives me mind-blowing orgasms, but he's a red flag and he needs to go away.
Okay,
Or
okay.
sometimes you don't. So that's kind of what I want to explore when I talk about the series, The Dangerous Comfort.
I really like that. And I like the idea of being intentional with our writing so that our readers have that opportunity to consider, is this something I want in real life? Or is this something I should stay away from?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny because when I do like book events, one of the things that I'll do, especially if it's a group of girls, I'll just say either this is regarding you or your friends. Which one of you guys have dated a guy that was a red flag, but continue to date him because the sex is good?
Yeah.
Sometimes the person will go me, and other times the friends will go. So,
Everyone knows.
and then I go, well, the story is for you.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I kind of love that. And I love that lead in of kind of finding that opportunity to connect with your readers and be like, we have all done this. Everyone has had,
sometimes more, well,
yeah,
more than once or twice.
that's
So,
fair. That's fair. So
mm.
you do a lot of book events, is that right?
I just recently started this year. So The Devil in the Details came out September 17th. This is actually the first time that I'm leaning into actually being an indie author. I wrote a book in 2015, but I just kind of silently put it out and try to do
Mhm.
everything myself. So for me, The Devil in the Details, I knew I had something. I paid for an editor, paid for getting
Yeah.
my cover done. And then so I decided, you know what? I am going to start doing these book events. So I did my first one January 31st. That was nerve-wracking and fun because I didn't know how to design my table. I didn't know what to put
Yeah.
on my table. And I was only going to be selling The Devil in the Details, not the first book. So it was like, well, people buy this one book, and yeah. And then after that, February just came, and I did multiple events.
That's really cool. Yeah, I loved seeing like the pictures on your Instagram. And you're so right, though. When we first start doing those events, it's a lot to take in.
It's always a lot for me. I'm finding out. I mean, this month is going to be kind of crazy because I have three events, three, three
Okay.
events this month. And what I find out is afterwards, I need to step away and like decompress. And I mean, I don't want to
Mhm.
talk to anyone the next day because I'm riding this high. And then as soon
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm like, it's a wrap. I just want to be in my bed, covers,
Mm.
watch some Lifetime television, and call it a day.
That's you're so real for that. I'm very, very similar. And I know now, like after an event, if it's too much fun, I get like very emotional when it ends and I feel like really sad that it's over. But I love hanging out the next day in bed and just having a moment to relax and just recover.
Yeah. And reflect. I think for me, it's very hard for me to like I'm staying present, but then when I reflect back, I go, oh, that did happen. Oh, I did meet this person. Oh, it's hard sometimes for me to stay present because everything is just moving so fast. I'm just kind
Yeah.
of going with emotions. So it's always fun to just pause and say, all right, let's think about yesterday's event.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Kelly, it's really cool. You wrote a book. You wrote two books. And now you're going to events and you're talking to readers and they're excited about your books. How does it feel?
Real. Honestly, I mean, there's one part of me that's like, you got this, you're doing this thing. And then there's a other part that still is like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, you're going to go to an event and you're going to tell people about your book and you're going to get them to buy your book. And then you have the other side where it's like, okay, they got to review the book. They have to read the book and they have to review it. And then what's so interesting is lately I've done a book club. I met up with a book club last weekend, and that was interesting. And I actually say that's my favorite part of being a writer is listening to the reader's experience and what they thought, and then going, really? Oh, interesting. And I had one guy who was there who brought up something that no one has ever picked up. And I was just like, and I'm in the middle of finishing the second book. It's
Yeah.
the Devil in the Details, and the second book is The Devils We Know. It's a duology, and I'm leaning into something, and in that book, and he picked up the little subtle breadcrumbs, and I'm like, interesting. Okay, so yeah, that
Yeah.
part is fun.
I hope that you patted yourself on the back. That is such a good feeling. I love that.
I do. It's just so hard. I just feel like patting myself in the back is really good, but then I always want to remain humble. So it's
Yeah.
like I kind of go, "Oh yeah, I did a thing. Okay, but don't be braggadocious about it." And I should celebrate the fact that I wrote a book and people are reading it, and I do have numbers. I'm in bookstores. It's so hard. And like lately I've been forcing myself to celebrate the ones more.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's important to have that balance of, being proud of ourselves and excited, but not like, like freaking out or being annoying about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's a big accomplishment. But going back to what you were saying about readers, I love that too. I love it when you have that rare opportunity to have a reader like give you that feedback and be like, here's what I noticed. It's cool that guy like picked up on that one thing. I love that.
Yeah, and it's so fun because like I have a coworker who was one of the first people who bought my book and read it.
Okay.
And she comes by every week to kind of first it was like, so what are you writing? Like what's the next part? So if you need someone to, pitch ideas to, I'm
Yeah.
here. And I'm like looking at her like no, lady, you're trying to get tips and you're trying to figure out what's going on with the storyline. And it's so funny because when I'm meeting with readers who've already read the book, I have to tell myself, shut up, don't give anything away because there was one lady last weekend, I almost like spilled the entire second book, but I didn't. I didn't.
Okay. Proud of
Yeah.
you, honestly. That's cool. You're right. It's really hard as a writer, like when a reader is so excited and we do match that energy and we're like, listen up. And then, yeah, having to like reel it back in to not give spoilers is hard.
It is. It's very hard because, you know, people are enjoying your book and they are, I feed off of people's energy and they're
Yeah.
excited and you want them to be excited and you want to tell them like, well, wait till you hear about this and what I'm going to do here. And it's
Yeah.
like, girl, shut up. I can literally say, girl, shut up. And don't. So my new rule at book clubs, one alcoholic beverage, that's it.
Okay.
Don't give me
Yeah.
two because I tend to do this and then I
Yeah.
give things away. So they were like, "Do you want another?" And I was like, "No, I don't. I don't want another. No, 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 no dirty Shirley Temples
Okay.
for me."
That's a good limit to have though, and you're right. That is really hard to like keep those twists and turns like
Mhm.
zipped up. So, I know this is a duology, did you plot the whole thing before you started writing, or do you like to discover as you're writing?
I'm a total panster. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, actually, this book wasn't planned. I literally was driving down the street and I just had this internal monologue going in my head and it was so good. I I was trying to like find a pen and a piece of paper to write it down. I couldn't find it, pulled over, emailed it to myself, then got home and this little thing grew and finally like probably about a couple weeks later my boyfriend had noticed I was always at the computer at night and he finally was like, "What are you doing?" And I go, I think I'm writing a book." And he just kind of looked at me like, "That's weird," and kind of just walks away. And so like I didn't even know where the story was going. I didn't know how the story was going to end until halfway through writing the book. And I go,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm going to end it here." Same thing with the sequel. The sequel is, I think because I'm in tune with my characters, I kind of have an idea what I want to do. But no,
Yeah.
I don't outline. I don't even know what that means.
You
Outline.
know, what's that? Who would do such a thing? Um, I like that though. I do outline sometimes. I'm a very light outliner because I'll have like the basic plot points, but so much of the story is a surprise. Even as I'm writing, I'll be like, how are they going to get out of this situation? Like, I don't know. And
Mhm.
so I think that's one of the fun parts about being a writer, though.
Yeah, and I feel like with for some reason, book two, I feel in tune with the male character, Kevin. So
Okay.
for me, I am like zoned into him and I just do my thing and I just write.
Yeah.
Um, Bethany, she's my girl. But Kevin for me is just like, I don't know, that morally great guy that has things going on in life. I love. So we'll see how book two finishes. I have about, I want to say maybe five more chapters and I'm done. So with the first
Okay.
draft. Yeah. And I
Okay.
should be writing this weekend, so hopefully I can get it done this weekend.
Oh, I bet you can.
Probably if I stop watching, movies that I've seen 25,000 times. It's fine, but
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it's so nice to be able to be like, I'm so close to the end. To
yeah.
me, that's like such a rush. But I often feel torn if I'm really in the story. I don't want it to end. Do you have that experience too? Or are you like, I'm ready, they're done?
I think I do. I feel like I don't want it to end, and I think that's why I'm BSing around. Like
Yeah.
seriously, like
Yeah.
I could have probably been done with the story this week, but I'm like, well, I think one of the things also that's difficult for me is that not only am I writing a story, I have a playlist. So
Oh, cool.
music plays an additional character in my books. So you know exactly what's going on with the characters. Bethany is a singer. And so I was like, I don't think I like this song. I need to find another song. So instead of writing, I listened to music for like a whole 2 days. And I was like, Kelly, really, like you're really wasting your time on this. But I don't know if I really want the story to end. But it has to because I have
Yeah.
a tight deadline. So I need to get it done.
Okay. Well, I fully believe in you, but let's talk about the music a little bit.
Mhm.
What inspired you to include so much music in your storytelling?
I think I love music. Music is just a part of my life. And for me, it just, again, I don't outline. The story told me we need to add music in there, and my character is a singer. So I said, let's make this an actual playlist. But my ultimate goal was to, like, it's very hard to talk about music or especially real, like a real song. So, like, book one has a lot of Fiona Apple in it. And so I needed to figure out how to write about the songs without having any copyright issues, right? Because that's
Yeah.
the biggest issue. And then, like when I listen, like when I read a book, they'll mention a song, and then they just keep going, and it's like an afterthought. But for me, since music is this extra character, I tried to build this cinematic story, and in my head, I see things as a movie when I write.
Okay.
So I literally am seeing the characters in my head and then I write it out. So then I needed to have a soundtrack. So that's kind of how put the music into my story. And I love just all different types of music. So it helped a lot.
That's really, really cool. So does the type of music change throughout each book based on like the scenes and what's happening?
Exactly. So the devil in the details almost gave you the devils we know playlist, but that's not public. See, so so the devil in the detail the playlist starts out with Sheryl Crow's The First Cut is the deepest. And
Cool.
then I do Fiona Apple, Sleep to Dream, Sullen Girl, I think, and then Criminal, which is like my favorite Fiona Apple song. Then we have a little Fleetwood Mac. Then I do a little some EDM music.
Okay.
And then, of course, the weekend I think I have in there. So it just depends on the scene. And then Bethany does this wonderful performance uh, to the song No Lights by Florence and the Machine. And wonderful. And I do some Christina Aguilera in there because why not? So yeah,
Love it.
I just pull from different genres, music that I listen to daily, and then I go, oh, I like that. So in my phone, there's screenshots of different songs that I go, oh, this song, you're gonna write to this song. Oh, and then my favorite chapter, well, one of my favorite chapters is chapter 17. It's a spicy read, but Glory Box by Portishead is in there.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, it's a good scene. I've been told once or twice.
Chapter 17, right?
Chapter 17
Chapter
is
17.
very sensual, intimate, and then I have chapter 27, which is very hot and naughty. So, but one is told by Bethany and the other one's told by Kevin. So
Okay. Okay, so those they kind of balance each other out, is what it sounds like.
It does and it doesn't. So one of the things that I challenge myself is as a writer, sometimes when I read books, when a female's writing in a man's perspective, especially when it's those spicy scenes, it sounds like a woman writing in a man's perspective. So
Mm,
I challenge myself to really dig deep and write in a man's perspective when we're talking about like sex and
okay.
in the middle of the act. So I had to actually interview a couple of guys to say, well, what
Okay.
is it like
Cool.
for you?
Yeah.
And they kind of looked at me like, and I'm like, here, this is what I'm doing. This is the reason why. So I got some details. And then from there, I just kind of creatively went down and got down and dirty. And then when I finished writing chapter 27, I was like, this is how far I want to go. And I reread the previous scenes and I was like, that's too vanilla. Let's amp it up. So I did.
Yeah. You know, I like that though, and I think that's one of the fun things about being a writer is like pulling our friends into our shenanigans and being like, listen up, I have a problem. Only you can help me answer this question. What is going through your head when you're doing these things?
Mhm.
And I think that's really interesting and very intentional for you to kind of say, wait, how am I going to write this from a man's perspective? So was it kind of challenging or once you had those conversations were you like, oh, I've got this?
It was a little challenging because, you know, I wanted to make sure the story was very authentic
Yeah.
especially in those scenes. And so I actually had to have a couple people read chapter 27, number that's Kevin's point of view. And I was like, I'm missing something. And then finally, my cousin, who I love to death, she was like, you're missing sound.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
instead of it was missing the different things you would say or the whatever. So I had to, amp it up. I'm trying to keep it clean, so I don't know how far I can go in your
You can go as far as you
interview.
want. You don't have to keep
Okay.
it clean. You're good.
It, it was missing the the moaning and all of the
Yeah.
other and the dirty talk and all of that. So I had to amp that up. And then once I did, I was like, all right, girl. Yes, yes, this right here.
This is
So
it.
this is it. It's fun. It's fun to write those parts because in my head, again, it kind of plays like a movie.
Yeah.
So I kind of go, okay, and I think I get a little bit too much involved with the direction. Like,
Okay.
do this, do this, do this, do
Go
this, do
here, go
this.
here. Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I'll have to, uh, let me, no, no, I don't want to try. That's kind of
Yeah.
where my brain goes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Being a romance author is so fun. I have a couple friends who will use like Barbie dolls to like act out scenes and be like, will this position work?
You know what? I love that, and I'm gonna take it. I gotta go find me a doll.
Okay. Absolutely. Because yeah, we do have this unique opportunity to kind of create whatever we want and to just
Mhm.
expand it and make it fun and sexy. And I like that somebody pointed out to you, like, hey, make sure you're adding in the sound because I bet that took a really good scene and just made it great when you added
It was tasty. It's tasty, delicious.
that.
Actually,
Savory.
and the book club, the guys were like, "That's it,"
That's
and I
it.
was like, "Well, thank you so much." I need that validation from a man to be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that right there, that's exactly what it is." So I actually had a coworker who kind of read that for that part of the book. He goes, "Girl, I'm gay." And I even felt a thing. And I was like,
Wow.
yes,
There you go. It does not
thank
get
you.
better than that.
It does not.
It's a good compliment.
So,
That's,
but
oh,
yeah,
that's wild. Yeah. No, that would, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, well, my work here is done. Like I've completed everything I need to in life. That's great.
I go, you're welcome.
Yeah. And he was welcome.
I'm just trying to create world peace. That's all.
Absolutely. I love that. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you're really good at it. So,
There we go.
so, so before we wrap up, what is your favorite thing about writing? Like, do you have one favorite thing where when you were writing your book, you were just like, I just love being with the characters, or I love writing dialogue, or I just love creating this world?
I think my favorite part of writing is creating the character's personality and all the
Oh,
nuances, what it feels like to be human.
yeah.
I think it's very important when we're writing or telling stories that we create characters that feel human. And
Mm,
no human is perfect. So each person has their own issues and their own, things
yeah.
the quirks that they, do. And I love that part of it where I can go, okay, this personality is this person, and this is what she does. So like Bethany, she does a lot of eye rolling. That's her thing. Her friend Katie is like very like bubbly. And so as I'm writing book two, there's a scene between three people, Katie,
Uh-huh.
Bethany, and a new character. And I go, Katie says this. And I go, no, Katie wouldn't say that. Katie would say this. And then Bethany would roll her eyes, and this person would do this. And I was like, okay, first of all, these are not real people. But to me, I've
Uh-huh.
created these characters to where they feel real people. So, like for me, that's what I like. I like to do storytelling that feels very authentic, and human-like, and
Yeah.
maybe in some not so realistic situations that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, you're right. And I love that you were able to know your character so deeply that you were like, this is what this person would say. We got to have the eye roll in there. Like, it all comes together because readers notice because they get to know our characters too.
Yeah, and I think especially with The Devil in the Details, it's a romantic suspense, but it's very dark leaning, and
Yeah.
she finds herself in a situation like I start off the book where she's trapped in the room with Kevin,
Hmm.
and he's dead, and she's like, "Why would you make me do this? Like, why would you make me kill you?" And so then we go back and we see how it all started because that's the craziness how my brain works. I
Yeah.
write the plot first and I leave it in the front so we know where we're going. And then we
Yeah.
go back around. And, there's a part where we have to get to how she gets there. And I
Hmm.
needed to dive deep in that emotion and those ticks and those things. And that for me, it was kind of hard to write, being stuck in,
Oh,
but that's that true, authentic story building and the character building that I want all of my stories to reflect.
yeah. I love that. Well, I have not read your book yet, but I need to go get it because it sounds amazing. Where can everyone else go get your book?
My book is everywhere. You can definitely go to, of course, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any bookshop.org if you want to
Okay.
support any indie bookstore. And if they don't have it in your local bookstore, you can ask them to carry it for
Yes,
me.
that part.
And of course, you can check my website, kellyrnelsonstoryteller.com, and you can see where I will be at. I
Okay.
do have some more events here in Southern California, and I have an event in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then by book two, I will be at Fall Into Book Festival in November. So
Okay.
come out, come find me, come yell at me, come say, Kelly, really, you did that thing, and you made me cry. Uh, and then I can go, I'm sorry, not sorry.
I'm
Oops.
sorry, not sorry. I love that. But nobody yell at Kelly.
I mean, I'm okay. Listen, I'm okay with you saying girl, and then I'm just going to tell you, sorry, not sorry,
Sorry, not sorry. I love
and have
that
the day you deserve.
for sure.
So, yeah.
Well, Kelly, this has been great. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. And happy writing.
Thank you so much. I appreciated this conversation, and I'm so excited to be a part of your journey and, speaking to authors. So I love
You're the
that.
best. Thank you so much. All right. Well, have a good night.
You too. Take care.